All right, so this is our last presentation. Okay, so after that, we'll meet again in Merrill Hall at 5 p.m. Okay, for award ceremony.
So as you mentioned, my name is Allie Field. I am a graduate student in GIS, the geography program here at JSU. I also work for the Pinhoti Trails Foundation, and I'm also a data surveyor for the Pinhoti Trails. So my presentation is on the flooding on the trail. And where to start is, you see that picture right here was taken on March 23rd of 2022. That day, I was actually going to go hiking on the trails and had to collect some data. And that all this data that you're going to see besides these images, this was collected by newspaper or journalists and all that. One guy named Bill Partridge. But these images were took, and it connects to the trail. It connects to the Lake Hillaby, which is right on the trail. I was going to go hiking, and right when I crossed on Highway 24, the whole road was flooded. It was around waist deep high of water. We were able to get to one portion of the trail where we were able to hike, and I noticed this one girl who was carrying her dog. And she said, "You don't want to go that direction. There's around neck high deep water," and this girl was my size, 5'8". So I kind of started thinking to myself, you know what, if this one person's having these issues, I wonder if there's other parts of the trails that's having the issues, and what is the outcome of these issues. And to my surprise, there's plenty of places on the trails that have that, and I used some tools in the program that we use in the GIS department called S3RR GIS Pro. So as you can see, this is Choccolocco Park. This is connected to the Choccolocco watershed, which is in return connected to Lake Hillaby, which is right next to the trail study site. Let me go. So as you can see, there's Lake Hillaby. And here, I'm laser, but you can see all those points and dots, and the lines, not the blue and the pink, but the other lines with points and dots. That is the Pinhoti Trail. That is all the data I've collected from a portion of Georgia all the way to Cheaha State Park. So, as I was mentioning before, I use this tool called argon flow or water hydrology flow. Basically, you can see where the purple line is, where the trail that's crossing over the trail in sections. That is areas that are prone to flooding that could be dangerous to hikers. And you can see that from Lake Morgan and Lake Hillaby over to the side, which connect together. And you can see right over here where the blue arrows are, that's the water flow connection. You can see where the direction the water flow is going. So you can see it's prone to be on County Road 24, and at the same time, it can be on to the Pinhoti Trail. So with that, also, if you notice as well, you see the pink, and then point this out real quick, you see the pink portion onto the left. That was data collected by FEMA of areas that have flooded before. But the area purple was the flow accumulation. That was not collected by FEMA because they have no interest of going on the trails. That's not their business. They don't want to go on the trails to find out. But they will go on the erodes areas and areas are prominent where people are going to go to find out if that's a flooded hazard area or not. So with that in mind, I'm also going to go to a little bit further where you can see more of the flow accumulation, where you can see areas of flood hazards that also cross the trail, and you can see around areas of Morgan Lake, which also connects to Lake Hillaby, which is the lake on the left that is a flood hazard zone. Says FEMA. You can see the flow direction goes right onto the roads, and you can also see that FEMA did not report certain areas that could be a potential flood hazard right here. So with that in mind, let's keep in mind about hikers. That one area where the dot is way up here on top, that's an area of a campsite. And you can see that it's right in the direction of where flooding will be. So imagine you're a hiker at night and we have a flash flood issue, your campsite's gonna be swept away. I've actually heard stories from other hikers in the area that had that happen, and they were coming down from New York. They said that they seen potential flood areas within the Appalachian Trail itself, which is connection to Kentucky Trail. So, let me point out these campsites right here. You can see right there where these campsites, which are in the green, was the intent, of course. They're in an area of no, according to flow accumulation from arc hydrology. They're in an area of potential flood, and that could be flood areas, but we don't know for sure that it's being a bit reported. But with the arc hydrology tools, it was able to record that data. And you can see right up top where the line is, where the purple line right after that, you can see right where an area of erosion is at, which is a potential that means that there was once flooding in the area. So back to the main map where I was talking about this. So what could come out besides campers being endangered? What could come out of just the flooding in general? We can have areas of erosion, such as the braided trail. But we could have areas of erosion, which I had reported. And let's see if we can at least get one of the images to show. That would be nice. Very nice. There we go. So I know it's hard to see, but this is a braided trail. What that means is the water flow came down from the hillside and it created, so let me go at this. We know that Alabama, in portions, is made out of limestone. We also know that limestone is just basically, not trying to be grotesque or anything, but it's basically the animals and all that over the course of time that it turns to a sediment over time, basically like shell creatures and all that's a type of limestone. And it erodes very quickly. So we know that Alabama has a lot of limestone, so does Florida and the majority of the Appalachians. So it's going to erode quicker with water. Therefore, it's going to grade. You got braided trails, which are basically water flow that creates a bridge and all that. And it goes down to basically a lake or a reservoir or something like that, an area of collection of water. But we know that this will erode the Appalachian Trail over a course of time. And if y'all didn't know this, the Appalachian Trail is actually one of the oldest Appalachian mountain chains compared to Colorado. Colorado is just a peninsula. It's a new, the Rocky Ridge Peninsula, a new type of mountain chain. It used to Appalachians used to one time look like what they claim the Himalayas. They also say it also used to be as tall as the Rocky Mountains. But because of water flow, it basically disintegrated the mountains over a course of time, over millions of years. So one day we won't have our Appalachian beautiful mountains anymore. And it's our job as the Kentucky Trail Alliance to basically take care of the mountains and take care of the hikers that go onto the trails and know that hazards that they could potentially face. My job on the trail foundation is the hydrology and understanding the water flow. Get to here and I can show you one more thing. So, with that in mind, you can see once again where the trail is at, but also you can see how much of Lake Kilby and other portions of what body of water affects areas around it, such as Calhoun and Cleveland County. We can see areas of water flow. You can see where the air is going. You can see areas reported by FEMA in the pink and also in the blue of potential flooding hazards that have happened in the past. And these are people that are on the ground that have reported this. And as I said once before, they don't go onto the trails. It's us, the people that are on the trails, that report this data so we can know how to keep hikers safe and at the same time how to shape our community on the trail. And with that said, I hope you like this presentation. It's been a while since I did a presentation like this, and I hope it was very informative for y'all. And I would like to thank Dr. Martin, who is not here. He has a class right now, and I would like to thank the Geography Department and also the College of Mathematics and Science. Any questions?
I have a two-part here. But when were these trails originally set? Were they old trails or are they relatively recent?
So the Pinhoti Trail, or you just wondering about the Pinhoti or the Appalachian?
We'll say Pinhoti, but also Appalachians as well.
So the Pinhoti Trail was set in the early 60s. I can't remember who said it, but I know that at first it was basically a way of travel for what they call the road system. They had a potential for logs and lumber to go on. And then they thought, you know what, we're going to integrate this in for people to hike. And then you had, gosh, you had a lot of things happen with this. You had the, so each state, let me call this, each state, they take care of they're supposed to take care of their trails. This, I just got off a meeting talking about this a while ago. It's kind of funny to talk about that. And each state in the early years, especially the 70s and 80s, they had to take care of the trails, and they're like, this is really not what we want to do. We're more interested in other things. So money is put towards that, but it has to be put in use for people like us to go out to take care of it. But it originally started for the Pinhoti Trail in the 60s for basically lumber carrying.
And then, would you believe that these trails were established due to the lack of foliage and obstacles that may have been caused by previous flooding?
You know what, I got to talk about that in the meeting too. So trails were established for the scenic and all that. So they put the most scenic areas besides the lumber and all that. I still see lumber roads and all that that are still established on the Pinhoti. And trails are supposed to be for the scenic and for us to be out in nature, and sometimes we have to reroute. That's what the determination for the Pinhoti Trail Foundation is on. We're trying to determine if we need to reroute trails due to people's safety. That's why we're out there to collect that data.
All right, we can have one more question.
Anything else?
All right, if no questions, let's thank our speaker. And with this, we are concluding this afternoon session. And I'll see you guys at 5.